Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. Several years ago, I got the idea for a long-term ham radio-oriented project. Looking for a chance to do something significant and experience something new, I decided to go to each of North America's 5 Great Lakes and operate a portable amateur radio station from the shore of each of those lakes. My first Great Lake operation happened in September of 2020 when I traveled to Lake Superior. In April 2021, I made my way to Lake Erie. In the fall of 2021, I notched the 3rd lake off my list when I paid a visit to Lake Huron. In October 2022, I booked a campsite on the shore of Lake Ontario with the hopes of achieving my 4th Great Lake activation. Despite banking on my experience and preparation to give me smooth sailing on this trip, I encountered a massive issue that threatened my entire mission. Let me tell you the story. In October, I made a trip to Ontario's Presqu'ile Provincial Park. Presqu'ile is a 2.5-hour drive from my home and features spectacular frontage on the Big Lake. Big as it may be, Lake Ontario is the smallest of the Great Lakes. It's also the 14th largest freshwater lake in the world. In the Iroquoian language, Ontario means shining waters. With a depth of 802 feet, that's 244 meters, Lake Ontario rarely freezes over, even in the coldest winters. The last time this lake froze over was in 1934. Having now operated from the shore of multiple lakes, I have devised a strategy for successful deployments. I use my Yaesu FT897D set to 20 watts, as opposed to 100 watts, as a compromise between QRP levels and 100 watts to maximize my signal reach and extend battery usage. For those that may be unaware, there is a 1S unit difference between 5 watts and 20 watts, and another between 20 watts and 100 watts. Next, rather than use one of my telescopic fiberglass masts as a support, I have settled on using trees to support the far end of an end-fed antenna, or the feed point of a dipole. I pull out a small folding table, a lawn chair, and a battery to round out my gear. Last but not least, I spot myself on the Parks on the Air site to send hunters my way. I found a close-by tree and was able to get a paracord line up about 40 feet. As is customary on my portable installations, I brought along a few different antennas to give me multiple options. Due to the tree's distance from my preferred operating location, I decided to employ my high-end fed antenna. After pulling the far end of the radiator up the tree and running the rest of the wire parallel to the shore to a spot just behind my table, it was time to set up the FT897D. To add a special touch to my operation, I ran a symbolic ground wire from the back of the rig to a camping stake anchored in Lake Ontario. I then plugged in the 30 amp hour Life PO4 battery. This is usually the time when I fire up the rig, find a clear frequency, then spot myself on the POTA page. But something different happened this time. After powering on the 897, I switched to 40 meters and spun the tuning dial to find a nice location on the band to call CQ. To my dismay, I quickly saw that when I turned the dial, nothing happened. I could hear band noise, but the frequency display indicated that turning the tuning dial had no effect. I switched bands, turned the rig on and off, even reset the radio to its factory defaults. Nothing worked to remedy the issue. My 897 seemed to be working perfectly otherwise. I sat back and pondered how to overcome this situation. I had driven 2.5 hours to get to this park, and my rig was not going to allow me to get on the air. This could have been completely disastrous. And it would have been had I not learned from a previous experience and taken a precaution. Something happened to me in 2015 on a portable activation. I had purchased a brand new 33 amp hour SLA battery and fully charged it prior to taking it on a camping trip. The sole purpose of that trip was to set up a station and operate during a big contest. The 33 amp-hour battery was the only battery I had packed, so when it died, I had to abandon my campsite, go into town, and buy a replacement. You can see the whole story on my ham radio HF portable video published in October of 2015. While you might be fortunate enough to find a suitably sized, charged battery in your hour of need, you're not going to be able to find a replacement ham rig in a nearby town. What I took away from that earlier setback was to bring extras of anything I would be using. Therefore, I bring extra antennas, batteries, power cords, coaxial cable, and even a spare microphone. And of course, I bring 2 rigs with me. My backup rig on this trip was my Yaesu FT817ND. Yes, the 817 is a QRP rig, but having brought it along, I knew my trip would not go down in the ham radio annals as an abject failure. I got to work plugging in the FT817ND, spotting myself on the POTA site and calling CQ. Here's how it went.
This is KK2B, QRZ.
Park to park.
Kilo 1, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Okay, Kilo 1, Charlie Whiskey Bravo, stand by just a minute. Who's the park to park?
Park to park, Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Okay, Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike. Good morning, you're 5-9 in the clear in the 5059, over.
Copy the 5059, the 59. You are 5 and 9 into VE0351. Could I get your call sign, sir?
Okay, my call is Kilowatt 2 Bravo, KK2B. And I need your park again, please, over.
King Kong 2 Bananas, my park, Victor Echo 0351.
Okay, QSL 0351. Thank you very much for the park to park, and have a good activation, over.
Thank you, sir. You the same.
Foxtrot Whiskey Mike.
Foxtrot Whiskey Mike station, come again.
Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Whiskey Mike. Frank over here in New Jersey, roger.
Okay, Frank, let me make sure I got your call sign. Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Echo Mike, is that correct?
Foxtrot Whiskey Mike, roger.
Foxtrot Whiskey Mike. I've got you here, Frank. Oh, hang on a sec. Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Whiskey Mike, QSL?
QSL. Yeah, I got you over here in New Jersey. I'm running a portable with a wire.
Hey, you're doing a great job. I'm doing pretty much the same, and I'm only running 5 watts this morning. You are a 5 and 9 from VE0351.
Roger that. I got you here with like 5-7.
Well, thank you very much for the 5-7. Greatly appreciate the contact.
Kilo 1, Charlie Whiskey Bravo.
Kilo 1, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Did I copy your call sign correct, sir?
Yeah, I think you do. Sounds good. Kilo 1, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Trace, I got you 5 and 7, Massachusetts. 57, Mike Alpha, over.
Hey, thank you very much for the 57. Greatly appreciate it. My FT897 died, so I had to go down to my 817. I'm only putting out 5 watts.
Oh, roger. Well, that's funny. I'm using 5 watts also. Well, thanks for being out there, and I enjoyed the video. 7-3.
Hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate your support. Have a great weekend.
Kilo 3, Charlie Uniform.
Kilo 3, Charlie Uniform. I've got you in at a 5 and 9 into VE0351. Edward?
QSL, you're also 5-9 PA. Great signal, nice and loud.
Hey, thanks so much, and I'm only running an FT817. I really appreciate your contact. It helps me out.
QSL, QRP is definitely doing its job.
Hey, fantastic. Thanks again for the contact. Have a wonderful weekend. 73, sir.
You as well. 7-3. Whiskey Victor 1 Whiskey.
Gotcha that time. Whiskey Victor 1 Whiskey. I've got surf in the background. I'm literally on the shore of Lake Ontario, Donald. You are a 5 and 5 into VE0351.
QSL Tracy, we've worked before, and I think I've contacted you via email. Name is Don. I'm the guy that wrote the book on POTA. 5-7 Connecticut, buddy.
Hey, Don, thanks so much. And your signal just came up. I'm bumping you up to a 5 and 7.
Presque Echo 3, Romeo, November, Hotel.
Victor Echo 3, Romeo, November. One sec here. Romeo, November, Hotel. Is this Patricia? Thank you for the 5x5. You're a 5 and 7 into Presqu'ile Provincial Park, VE 0351.
Roger, thank you for a new one. Alpha Delta 2, Charlie Delta.
Alpha Delta 2, Charlie Delta. Let me see what you got. Oh, hey, is it Toby?
Roger, Toby, Tango Oscar Bravo India from New Jersey. You're 5'9", QSL.
Hey, you are also a 5'9" into VE 0351, Toby. Thanks so much for the contact.
Thanks, that's activating 7-3.
I know some of you watching this expected me to have great difficulty making contacts running QRP. You may be surprised to learn that I ended up making 30 contacts in the 1 hour that I operated. I could have made more, but I had another radio task that weekend and needed to shift gears. Let's save that story for another video. To sum this one up, I have now worked from the shore of 4 of North America's Great Lakes. That leaves only one, Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is entirely within the United States, so to work that one, I'll have to travel south. Such a trip involves additional logistics and expense. I'll give some thought to that project over the coming winter. In the meantime, the real takeaway here is that old Navy SEAL motto, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Take extras of your gear, even an extra rig, to help avoid crushing disappointment. Otherwise, it's a long drive home if something fails. If you've ever had an issue in the field that forced you to head home, please let us know about it by leaving a comment below. That's all for this time. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 7-3 from Tracy, VE3 TWM.